Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about rigidity versus flexibility in handwriting. My name is Marcel Elvers. I'm a master profiler through written communication and wrote the book Handwriting Analysis Principles. A handwritten note is basically a mindset expressed. This is the writing of a 45-year-old male. We can see it is overall rigid. Letter structures are similar. Not even similar, they're almost the same, and the arrangement of paper is well organized. Too well organized. These writers tend to have a rigid mindset. They do not adapt to their environment and are highly individualistic and self-reliant. When the whole picture of writing is rigid, expect a rigid and inflexible mindset, attitudes, and basically that individual is rigid. And this is the opposite. The writing of a mid-50s male here is too inconsistent and wavy baselines and variation in letter formation. This suggests highly adaptable and responsive to environmental influences. The excessive variation in the writing means the person is highly anxious. They tend to be dependent on external validation, and they need praise or confirmation and affirmation. So when the whole picture of the writing is uneven and messy, expect an anxious and unreliable individual. There are three zones in handwriting: the upper, mid, and lower zone. The upper zone is the morality zone, the mid zone, the social zone, and the lower zone is the instinctive zone. Now, keep this in mind because every handwriting characteristic is interpreted by the location and the movement. Today, I'm going to talk about the up and rightward movement. The upward movement is our degree of philosophy. Rightward movements are degree of purpose. The combination, therefore, up and right, implies ambition and enthusiasm. The up and forward stroke implies ambition and enthusiasm, like I said, and the mid zone is related to our social inclinations, whereas the lower zone is our subconscious instinctive self, and the upper zone is related to our philosophy and morality in life. Now let's look at some mid-zone structures. Here we see, especially in the word about, a connection stroke that is loose and rounded. Writers with a flexible connection stroke tend to be adaptable, kind, and warm towards others. Compare that to Donald Trump, whose signature is a parade of rigid connections and every letter looks the same. These writers tend to be militant. They just move up and down without moving forward. And here we see the writing of Johnny Depp. He has a multitude of angular structures, but also rigid connection strokes. Look at the word to, the T to the W, people, the L to E, it is rigid. So he's highly ambitious and rigid on a social level. So this stroke, the rigid connection stroke that is angular, belong to people that are typically socially, quote unquote, harsh and unyielding. And we have seen that behavior in his 2022 trial with Amber Heard. Now, when it comes down from the lower zone, it means deep-seated resentment. Again, it is ambition and enthusiasm and rigid, but from a subconscious level. There is one special stroke that also has a rigid lead-in stroke. Look at the M, N, and H here. We see that the connection strokes are rigid up, but then the downstroke is flexible and loose and rounded. So these people have strong, rigid opinions, make a decision and then they hold back. These people are manipulators. We call this stroke a shark's tooth because it literally looks like a tooth of a shark.